Welcome, everybody, to Wahoo Gymnasium as we have the first full season in the new gym. And we'll be bringing you the Warriors taking on Ralston tonight. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to be facing off with. First game that we get to cover for varsity is going to be the ladies. Wahoo Warriors 9-6, Ralston 0-11. Tough start for the beginning of the season for them. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things that they've had to face off against. So, for example, so tonight they are facing off against the Warriors. But they had a tough time against Crete, Nebraska City, Duchesne, Ashland Greenwood High School, Roland Colley, Auburn, Louisville, Nebraska City again. They faced them, and then Conestoga, Gross Catholic, a tough team right there. Malcolm, always a tough team, and Lincoln North High School. So we have a 6 o'clock start. Let's take a look at some of the stats here and see how the Ralston girls handle this thing. So points per game, leading the way is Addie Odd, 9 points per game. Field goal percentage is Amal Rajid with 33%. Rebounds per game, Addie Odd, 7.4 is the leader there. Assists per game, Genesis Acosta Barros, 1.7. Steals per game, Genesis Acosta Barros, 1.7 steals per game on average. Blocks per game, Addie Odd with a half block per game on average. Field goal free throw percentage, Addie Odd doing pretty good, 42% at the foul line. 3-point percentage, Mackenzie McCrander leads with 7% from the three-point line. Overall points, and Addie Odd leading the way with 70 points. So that is a look at the Rams. Let's turn things back over to the Warriors. So taking a look at their stats as we go. Points per game leader is Claire Emerson with 11.4 on average. Field goal percentage, Addie Gregg, 42% from the court. Also, rebounds per game, Claire Emerson leading 4.7 rebounds per game. Assists per game, Karen Edie, 1.5. Steals per game, Karen Edie with 1.9 steals per game on average. Blocks per game, Nevea Mollander with 0.3 blocks per game. Free throw percentage leader is Karen Edie at 59%. 3-point percentage, Aaron Galladay, 28%. And overall points, Claire Emerson with 171 points so far this season. We'll go ahead and say thank you to all the sponsors. You can see them in the upper left-hand corner. We have just a few minutes. You can see that in the upper right-hand corner. We'll be back with basketball with the Warriors right here on Saunders County Online, YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and wahooradio.com. Let's go ahead and say thank you to the sponsors part of the Wahoo Warriors Athletic Booster Club. Tonight's game is sponsored by Sid Dillon of Wahoo. In fact, they have a promotion tonight. The first 100 fans that come in get free popcorn. So I see some people have taken advantage of it. It means that there's more popcorn to be had. So come on out, get your free popcorn, and then enjoy a great game. So again, that's coming up as we continue on. Let's go ahead and say thank you to all the sponsors, part of our broadcast, all of the broadcasts for the Wahoo Warriors all year long, whether it's football, basketball, volleyball, baseball. You'll be able to say thank you to all these sponsors. JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Wood Smith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors. Sid Dillon of Wahoo, tonight's game sponsor. Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture. Rivalry, we're your biggest fan. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett. Sid Dillon of Wahoo, again, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger. Shot Electrical and Contracting, Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Again, without them, we wouldn't be able to bring all these sports and activities to you right here on Saunders County Online for free as we continue to do everything we can to make sure you don't have to pay at all to watch your kids. Let's just take a little break. See, get everybody, the cameraman, in place, and we will be ready for basketball in just a couple minutes here. And pretty soon we're going to turn things over to the stadium announcer, get the starting lineups, the national anthem, all of that stuff on its way right here on Saunders County Online YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and WahooRadio.com. All right, we're about a minute away. We'll get the announcements from the stadium announcer and get ready to play some basketball as the Warriors take on the Rams from Ralston right here on BSDNLive.com, Saunders County on Live YouTube, as well as Wahoo Public Schools YouTube and WahooRadio.com. All right, welcome as we are now ready for basketball. About ready to get the tip to go. And so as we go, we'll have Emerson facing off. Let's see who the Rams put forward for the tip-off. My guess is that they're going to put in Eddie R., the 5'7" sophomore. Yep. Tip is won by the Warriors. Galladay with the ball, forwards it, gets it over to Edie. Edie to Emerson. Emerson back to Edie. Edie gets it underneath to Wesley. Wesley looks for help, gets it over to Hancock. A little long. And as it goes, retrieves out of bounds. Turnover to the Rams. Inbound, full court press. Almost ran out of time on that one. Bounce pass gets caught by Wesley for the Warriors, looking for help. Goes across the top of the key to the left side. Hancock gets it to Emerson. Emerson to Edie. Edie drives in, puts it up, gets the first 2 points of the game. Forward pass for the Rams gets intercepted by Hancock. Hancock calling the play at the top of the key. Passes to Wesley on the left wing, drives in, puts it up, and is able to drop it in for two. Inbound for the Rams. Dribbling, and Mackenzie Stilick not able to keep it in bounds, goes out of bounds. A turnover back to the Warriors. Emerson inbounds to Galladay, gets across the timeline. Galladay driving, picks it up. Gets it in underneath to Wesley. A nice open layup, a little bit hard. Galladay with the rebound. Brings it back out to the three-point line to Hancock at the top of the key. Back over to the right wing. Galladay sends it all the way across to Edie. Edie drives in, puts it up a little bit hard. Rebound is by Emerson. She was able to put it up and in. Inbound for the Rams goes to Stalick. Stalick tries to send it forward, but Hancock for the Warriors able to pull it in. Haven't been able to come down to this side of the court yet. Emerson driving in, picks it up, gets it out to Galladay. Galladay across the top of the key to the right-hand side, and a three-point drain by Hancock. 9-0, 6-11. Inbound comes all the way in, but comes a big throw all the way across, reeled in by Edie. Gets it over to Hancock on the far side, and she ends up going long. Galladay tries to save it, but goes out of bounds. Turnover to the Rams. It's a timeout, so we'll go ahead and take a 30-second timeout. Again, you can see all the sponsors in the upper left-hand corner, part of the Wahoo Warriors Athletic Booster Club. And they are, helping pay for the scoreboard in the digital scoreboard and the new scoreboard for the new gym. That's where the funds are going. That way it doesn't have to come out of any taxpayer money or any school money. It comes out of the generosity of our sponsors. So, again, let's go ahead. If you want to learn more about that, how you can be a part of it, contact the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club for more details. Rams with the inbound. Taking time, able to get it in. Gets it over to Ferrar. Ferrar driving across the timeline, but loses control. Warriors pick it up. Try to send it in. And it's stolen away by the Rams, but we have a jump ball. It's going to be on that far side. So possession arrow favors the Rams. 9-0, 5:41 left of the first period. Inbound comes over to Stalick. Stalick loses control of it, and it gets in the hands of Emerson, and she gets tripped. So there is the first foul of the game. It goes against the Rams, and so that's a first team foul and first personal foul. And the foul is called against Mackenzie McCrander, the 5'6" senior. Galladay with the inbound. Gets it in to Edie. Goes a little too long, but Picked up by Wesley. Wesley sends it across to Galladay. It's a little hard, but rebound by Emerson. Emerson looking for help. Already dribbled, so can't do much else. So then she gets it forward to Wesley. Wesley gets all the way across to Hancock. Hancock driving in the lane, picking up. Gets it out to Emerson. Emerson across to Edie. 16 seconds. Good pass inside to Galladay, but not able to get it to drop in. Taken away by the Rams. Pass gets forward. And over, I believe that's McCrander. Comes to the near side as Fritzler puts it up. Not able to get it to drop in. Rebound by Emerson for the Warriors. Sends it to the top of the key for Galladay. Takes the three. That's off the mark. And it goes out of bounds. Well, that is saved, but gets into the hands of Hancock. Wesley sends it to Edie. Edie to Galladay. Galladay back to Edie. Edie underneath to Wesley. Not on the mark for that layup. Rebound by the Rams, and Fritzler able to forward that. Gets that over to Barros. Barros sends it across to the far side. Back to the top of the key for Barros. Barros gets it in, tries to get it to Fritzler. Taken away by Hancock for the Warriors. 9-0, 4:04 left of the first period. Underneath to Edie, sends it all the way out. Galladay now driving in, tries to send it in, but it's taken away. Pulled back by Edie. Bounce pass back over to Wesley. Wesley gets it to Emerson. Emerson drives in, puts it up. Doesn't get the call. Gets a little tangled up in there. And now we have a jump ball. Possession now favors the Warriors. For the Rams, we see Stalick go in, and coming out is Farrar. Galladay with the inbound, gets it over, and three-point is in and drained. And that is by Roberts. Just came in the game. Inbound by the Rams. Sends it forward, knocked out of bounds off of Roberts. Stays with the Rams. Barros to the inbound. Tries to get it in, but taken away by Gregg. Gregg gets it over to Emerson. Emerson drives down the lane, puts it up, and is able to drop it in for two. Rams working, get it down across the midcourt line. They're able to get it in the hands of Odd. Back to Barros at the top of the key. Tries to pass it in underneath. Taken away. Roberts with the ball for the Warriors. Driving down. And she is called for the double dribbles and a turnover to the Rams. Coming in, we see, so Galladay comes out. Emerson comes out. Going in is Mollender and Smart. Inbound, gets sent forward in the hands, but taken away, still back in the hands of the Rams. Stepping around, able to get it back to the top of the key. Barros gets it in underneath. I believe that's McCrander. Nope, that is Farrell. Dribbles out, goes across to Barros. Barros dribbles into Addie Smart. Smart puts the hands on it and creates the jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Rams. So the Rams with the inbound underneath their own hoop. Inbound goes out to Farrell. Farrell sends it across to Rios. And shot clock violation, so it's just a turnover to the Warriors. Mollender comes out to inbound. Gets it to Roberts. Roberts switches sides, goes to the left, back over to the right, sends it to the near side. Lacey goes in, puts it up, and is able to get it to drop in for two. 16-0, 2:06 left of the first period. Out of bounds, and that is a turnover, or stays with the Rams. Wesley, Galladay, I'm sorry, Wesley, Galladay. Nope, actually Hancock. Wesley, Hancock, and Edie come back in for the Warriors. Cross to the near side. Stalick loses control, gets into the hands of Lacey for the Warriors. Lacey draws the foul. That's the second team foul, the first personal foul for McKinley Stalick. Lacey inbounds to Hancock. Hancock gets across the top of the key. Sends it to Wesley. Wesley looking to get underneath, able to get it to Edie, but too hard. Comes down in the hands of the Rams. Barros picks up, looking for help, trying to get assistance. Tries to bounce pass underneath, picked up, and that is caught by Edie. Gets it over to Hancock. Hancock sends it to Wesley on the left wing. Lacey with a three-point shot from the right wing is able to drain that one. 19-0, minute 15 left of the first period. Inbound gets back into the Warriors. Hancock with the pass. Tries to get it over to Edie, but it's too hard. Goes out of bounds. Turnover back over to the Rams. Rams bring in their starting lineup. So we have Farrar to inbound. Frizzell. Who else is in there? McCrander. Long pass in, and it is a jump ball pretty much for everybody, and it gets in the hands of Galladay. Galladay over to Emerson. Emerson back to Galladay. Takes the three, and that one rims out, but Emerson with the rebound, dribbles, puts the layup up and in. It's good. 47 seconds left. 21-0. Warriors with the lead. Rams with the inbound, draws a foul. That is the first team foul for the Warriors. Trying to see who they called that against. Yep, that's the first team foul. Okay, that is going against Wesley. First personal foul. Wesley covering hard. Double team. Bounce pass, gets forward. Rams take it across midcourt. Pass almost intercepted, but comes up a little bit hard on the layup. Goes out of bounds, stays with the Rams. Inbound, gets out to Frizzler. Bounce pass underneath, and gets into the hands of Addie Odd. She draws the foul. That's the second team foul, first personal foul for Claire Emerson. 21.2 seconds left of the first period. Inbound, good pass in for the Rams, gets crossed, and the pass over to Rios. Too hard, goes out of bounds. Turnover to the Warriors. Hancock with the inbound, gets it to Galladay. Galladay takes it down court. Gets across the timeline. Picks up the ball. Calls the play. Puts it into the hands of Emerson. Emerson driving in. As she goes in, goes up, and she draws the foul. It doesn't drop in, but that does send her to the free throw line. So with 3.5 seconds left of the first period, 21-0. Warriors with an attempt to add to the lead. First attempt is a little too hard, bounces back off the back of the rim. Second attempt is up, and that one is good. Rams with the inbound, and it goes out of bounds as they're not able to hold on to it. Hancock gets it in her hands, but not able to bring it in before going out of bounds. Stepping out is Mia Hannon to inbound for the Rams. Inbound goes all the way across, is able to be saved. Not able to do anything with it at the buzzer. The one is complete. Wahoo 22, Rams 0. Let's go ahead and say thank you as we take a 1-minute break, getting ready for the second half. Welcome back as we get ready. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. Warriors with the inbound. Galladay sends it in to Emerson. Emerson to the top of the key. Gets tripped. Draws the first foul. That foul is going against Audie Odd, the 5'7" sophomore. First team foul of the second period. First personal foul for Audie. Galladay picks it up, sends it across. Gets it over to Molander. Molander back over to Emerson. Drives in, puts it up. Not able to get it. She goes after the rebound and draws the foul. That's a second team foul for the Rams. First personal foul for Mia Hannon, and that is sending Emerson to the free throw line for 2 attempts. 22-0, 7:35 left of the first half. First one is good. 23-0. Second one is up, and that one's off the mark. Rebound by the Rams. Send it forward. Comes in, and Galladay almost took it away. Pass underneath ends up going as a jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Rams. Inbound. Goes all the way out to Fritzler. Fritzler goes to the right wing. Hands it off to Odd. Actually, that is Farrer. Loses control. Goes out of bounds off of a Warrior, so it stays with the Rams. Warriors pulling back. Bounce pass underneath. Gets into the hands of Odd. Odd turnaround jumper is good. First 2 points of the game for the Rams. Warriors inbound. Gets into the hands of Galladay. Sends it over to Emerson on the far side. She drives in the lane. Puts it up. Draws the foul. Oh, nope. She's called for the charge. So that is the first team foul for the period. Second personal foul for Claire Emerson. Inbound for the Rams, gets it into Farrar's hands, takes it across the timeline. Warriors with a soft offense. Hannon gets it under to Odd. Odd with a turnaround jumper. Does not go in, but she draws the foul. So that is the second team foul for the Warriors. First personal foul for Molander. It's going for 2. First attempt, and that one is long. Comes back off the back of the rim. Addie Odd with the second attempt. That is up, and that one's good. 23-3, 6:38 left of the first half. Galladay crosses the timeline for the Warriors. Takes it forward, gets it over to Lacey. Lacey tries to get it in underneath to Emerson. Emerson ends up going out of bounds off of her hands, so a turnover to the Rams. 6:26 left of the half. Grimes Farrar sends it across to the far side. He gets it into Hannon. Hannon bounce pass underneath to Odd. Puts it up, not able to do anything with it. Rebound by Molander. Gets it over into Galladay's hands. Hands it over to Emerson. Emerson driving in the lane, puts it up, and that is good. 25-3, 5:59 left of the first half. Grimes Farrar passes to the near side underneath to Fritzler loses control on the pass, goes into Emerson's hands. She puts the layup up and good. 27-3. Attempt go up for Farrar, and that is rebounded by the Warriors, and then they take a timeout. We'll go ahead and take a quick break right here on BSDN Live, Saunders County Online YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and WahooRadio.com. It's the Warriors' ball on the after the timeout. Hancock back to receive. Full court press showing up for the Rams. Inbound from Lacey goes all the way out to Mollander. Mollander hands it off back over to Lacey. That's to Edie. Edie at the top of the key. Sends it across over to Smart. Smart back to Gregg, takes the three, comes out, and the battle for it becomes a foul against the Warriors, and that foul is going against Talia Roberts. Her first personal foul, third team foul, 5:15 left of the half. 27-3, Warriors with the lead. Grimes Farrar with the ball. Passes it to the near side, gets it to Vikoff. Or Vukov. Across to the far side. Barros drives in. Goes out of bounds. Turnover to the Warriors. Edie with the inbound to Hancock. Hancock gets it down. Across to the top of the key. Goes to the right wing. Picks it up. Sends it across to Gregg. Gregg all the way across to Roberts. Then to Edie. Edie back over to Smart. Smart looked at the three but gets it over to Hancock. Hancock with 13 seconds takes the three and drains that one. 30-3. 4:28 left of the half. Rams get it across the near side, but taken away by Smart. She drives in, puts it up, not able to get it to drop in. Goes out of bounds, off of the Warriors, turnover to the Rams. Barros inbounds, gets it back, goes across the timeline, picks it up, sends it into McCrander. McCrander back to Barros. Barros tries to go to McCrander, gets taken away into the hands of Warriors, and going in, that was Talia Roberts, and she gets called for the charge. That's her first personal foul, fourth team foul, 3:55 left of the half. Barros at the top of the key, picks it up, sends it across. McCrander over to Vukov. Vukov gets it in underneath to Odd. Odd gets back out. Goes out of bounds. Off of the Warriors, sliding out. So stays with the Rams. 18 seconds left on the shot clock. 3:37 left of the half. Inbound. On the right wing. Back to the top of the key. Barros looking for help. Gets it in underneath to Odd. Odd sends it across. His two-point shot is off the mark. Odd with the rebound, puts it up, and she draws the foul. So she gets to go to the foul line for two attempts. That is the fifth team foul for the Warriors. First personal foul for Gregg. That puts the Rams in the bonus category. First attempt is up, and that one bounces around, comes back out. Addie Odd's second attempt. That is up, and that is good. 30-4. Emerson gets it forward to Dirksen. Dirksen gets it underneath to Emerson. Emerson looking for help, gets over to Dirksen on the near side. Galladay at the right wing. Travels to the top of the key. Back over to Dirksen on the right hands, over to all the way across to Edie. Underneath we have Too Hard. So who's that? That is Beasley with the layup attempt. Not able to get it to go in. Pass for the Rams, not able to save it, goes out of bounds. Turn over to the Warriors. 30-4. 2:48. Galladay comes across the top of the key, gets to the near side. Emerson to Galladay. Galladay gets it in underneath Beasley, then to Emerson. Emerson sends it all the way across to Dirksen. Takes the three, and it goes out of bounds off of a rebound from the Rams, so it stays with the Warriors. Inbound gets into Emerson. Emerson sends it across to Galladay. Looked at the three, drives in the lane, sends it across to Emerson, who puts it in with a nice layup underneath. 32-4, 2:15 left of the first half. Stalick gets it back. Looking for help. Passes in to Rios. Rios stops the dribble. Bounce pass underneath, gets through everybody. Picked up by Emerson for the Warriors. Drives down, puts it up, and is able to get it to drop in for two. 30-point lead for the Warriors. Minute 48 left of the first half. Near side as we see Rios. Gets it in underneath to Odd. Odd, lose control, goes out of bounds off her foot. Turnover to the Warriors. 34-4. Minute 37 left of the first half. So inbound, we see Dirksen gets it into Lacey. Lacey pass back over to Beasley. Tapped away, out of bounds, and stays with the Warriors. Lost her. Inbounds to Lacey. Molinder back over. I believe that's lost her. Takes a three. Goes out of bounds, then turn over to the Rams. Minute 17 left of the first half. Rams get it to the far side. McCrander back to the top of the key for Stalick. Stalick looking for help. Gets it in underneath to Fritzler. Odd gets it in with the turnout jumper. Goes out of bounds. Stays with the Rams. 58.9 seconds left. 34-4. Odd goes out for the Rams. And coming in is Mai Reggie, I believe, comes across to the near side as Fritzler sends it back to the top of the key. Bounce pass over to the near side. McCrander gets it all the way over to Stalick. Stalick underneath to Fritzler, puts it up, not able to get it to go in. Rebound by the Warriors. Malinder gets it over to Lacey. Lacey sends it to the near side as Dirksen passes all the way across to Loster. The pass ends up going into the hands of both teams with a jump ball, and the Warriors with, Warriors had the possession arrow, so Loster inbounds to Lacey. Lacey back over to Loster. Loster gets the screen, drives in, back out to Molinder. Molinder all the way across to Lacey. Lacey gets back to Beasley. Beasley to Dirksen. Dirksen Gets it to Lacey, takes a three. Not able to get it to drop. Rebound by the Rams, gets it into the hands of McCrander. She slows down, gets numbers. Pass underneath, and with. And that is halftime. Again, want to say thank you to all the sponsors, and we'll take a little break here too, but let's go ahead and say thank you to all the sponsors, part of our Wahoo Warriors Booster Club, Athletic Booster Club. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. We also want to say thank you to JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, Tim and Seth Molly Construction. We have the Sapphires coming up. Now I do have to kind of once in a while talk in the music because we want to make sure we don't get copyright issues with YouTube. The dance team has a big event coming up this weekend. Actually, a lot of events coming up this weekend. We have the show choir team traveling to Missouri this Saturday, a long trip for them to be able to perform. We also have the musical, which is coming up this spring. That has the practice has started for that. Really big show coming your way as they are performing Anastasia this year. And that is the Sapphire. So we'll go ahead and give you a break during the halftime. In 7 minutes, we'll be back with more basketball right here on BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and WahooRadio.com. Well, we're just a little bit away from the start of the second half as the Lady Warriors take on the Lady Rams of Ralston right here on bsdnlive.com, Saunders County Online, Wahoo Public Schools, YouTubes, and wahooradio.com. Again, tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. I want to say thank you to them and all the sponsors part of the Wahoo Warriors Athletic Booster Club, supporting the students, the athletes, and all of the great activities right here. So we want to say thank you to JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Well, as we come out of the half time, we get in with the Rams leading into the inbound. Gets it over to Stalick. Stalick sends it across back to Stalick at the top of the key. She loses control of it, and it's on the ground. Gets picked up by Emerson into the hands of Galladay. Underneath to Wesley. Puts it up and bounces out. And Edie with the rebound gets across to Hancock. Hancock all the way to Galladay. Takes the three, and it comes out. Rebound is by McCrander for the Rams. Tapped away. And going up is Karen Edie with two. 36. 36-4. 7:05 left of the third period. Bounce pass underneath, and it is taken away. And Emerson was called for the double dribble. Coming out is Farrar, replaced by Barros. Inbound, comes across. Tapped by the Warriors and into the hands of Edie. Edie tries to pass it forward, but back into her hands. Wesley able to get it up and in for two. 38-4. 6:36 left of the third period. Rams pass underneath, gets tapped away by Wesley, back in the hands of the Rams. Over to McCrander. McCrander sends it to the near side to Stalick. Stalick underneath to Odd. She puts it up, and they just kind of let people play. Rebound by Hancock for the Warriors. Comes across to Emerson. Emerson drives in, puts it up and in for two. 40-4. 5:59 left of the third period. 40-4. Stalick passes in underneath and not able to get it into the hands of Audie Odd. So it goes out and into a turnover for the Warriors. So we have the starting lineup for the Warriors coming out. In right now is Smart. Inbounds to Roberts. Roberts underneath to Beasley. Beasley sends it across to Lacey. Lacey to Roberts. Pass comes in and taken away by McCrander. Drives in underneath. Taken away by Lacey by the Warriors. Gets into the hands of Roberts. Roberts changes directions across the timeline. Loses it. Bounce pass comes out. And she draws the foul. So that's the first team foul for the second half. Second personal foul for Stalick. Smart with the inbound, gets it into the hands of Roberts. Roberts sends it to Lacey. Lacey looking to set up the play underneath. Mollander. Mollander back over to Smart. Smart back to Roberts. Takes the three. That's off the mark, but scrum in there. Call is a jump ball. Lacey to Roberts. Roberts back over to Smart. Smart takes the three. That one's short. And it goes off out of bounds. They say it's off. Off the Rams, Amai Rajid. Inbound underneath. Turnover to the Rams. Couple of shots taken away by the Warriors. Warriors get it into the hands of Roberts. Smart, open three. Now it's off the mark. Rebound. Molander gets the rebound. And they end up calling the jump ball. Possession arrow over to the Rams. Rams get into, let's see, that's not Staley, that's Hannon. Hannon bounce pass underneath to Raji. Comes back around. On the near side as McCrander had possession, draws the foul. That's the first team foul. Second personal foul for Roberts. Inbound gets underneath to Odd. Odd draws the foul, and that one goes against Smart. So that's the second team foul for the Warriors. Smart's second personal foul. And that is sending Odd to the free throw line. First attempt. And that one bounces around and comes out. .406 left of the third period, 40-4. Warriors with lead, 40-5. Second attempt is good for Odd. Inbounds to Lacey for the Warriors. Lacey gets it down across the timeline to Smart on the right wing. Smart to Roberts. Roberts gets it in underneath to Molander. Molander to Lacey, takes the three, and that one's off the mark. Bounces out and rebound by Phil. That goes in the hands of Hannon for the Rams. Gets it underneath to Odd. Odd with the turnaround. Tries to put it up. Gets the foul. So that's the third team foul. And that foul is going to be going against 33. Yeah, that is Beasley. First personal foul. 2 attempts there for Odd. First one's good. 40-6. 3:41 left of the third period. So we put in, looks like we put in most of the starting lineup. With the exception for the Warriors. Exception is Greg's in there. And Kendall and Shield. Second attempt is good. Wesley inbounds to Hancock. Hancock takes it down the court. Comes to the near side. Wesley back to Hancock at the top. Underneath to Greg. Greg sends it across. Back to the top to Hancock. Hancock to Wesley. Wesley to Greg. Greg tries to get it over to Hancock. And Addy Odd takes it away, but the Warriors able to take it back. Send it down to Dirksen. Dirksen gets it over to Wesley. Wesley to Hancock. Hancock looked at the three. Sends all the way across. Dirksen takes the three. A little short. Rebound by Greg. And ends up being called a jump ball. So stays with the Warriors. Possession arrow favors the Warriors. Inbound goes to Wesley. Tapped out of bounds off of McCrander for the Rams, so it stays with the Warriors. Wesley inbounds to Hancock. Hancock on bounce pass to Greg, and Greg tries the three, but comes back out. Rebound by Raji for the Rams. Goes across, sends it to the left wing by Stalick. Stalick underneath to Odd. Odd puts it up for two. 40-9. 2:38 left of the third period. Gregg bounce pass across to Hancock, takes the three and drains it. Bounce pass goes across, picked up by Gregg. Gregg gets it forward to Hancock for the Warriors, sends it forward, back to Hancock. Dirksen back to Hancock. Hancock takes the three, comes out. Rebound ends up in the hands of Wesley. Wesley underneath to Gregg. Gregg sends it all the way to the near side for Shield. Takes the three, that one's long. Rebound by Harrington. Let's see, nope, that's actually McCrander. McCrander sends it to the near side, tapped out of bounds off of the Warriors, so it stays with the Rams. Full change for the Warriors. So now we have Galladay, we have Beasley, Emerson, Edie, and Losser in for the Warriors. Inbound for the Farrar, sends it across for the Rams. Guess it got to Stalick. Stalick looking for help underneath. Ends up being called for the jump ball. As Galladay tries to rip it out of the hands. Rams with the inbound. Inbound gets out to Rios. Rios bounce pass underneath, but stopped and put into the hands of Edie. Edie drives across. Back underneath as it's passed back to Emerson. She goes up and draws the foul. Doesn't it go in, but she's able to go to the free throw line for two. And that is the first personal foul for Carrie Grimes-Farrar. Second team foul. (43-9), a minute 25 left of the third period. Second attempt is up, and that one bounces out. Brought in by Odd. Sends it forward to Stalick. Stalick, top of the key, goes to the right wing. Picks it up, looking for help. Underneath to Odd. Odd loses control, and it is on the ground. Jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Warriors. Minute 8 left of the third period, 43-9. Warriors with the lead. Inbound goes to Galladay. Galladay across the timeline, sends it to the far side, and Loster sends it up for three. Comes back out to Galladay. Back now to Loster at the top of the key. Across Galladay takes the three, and that one bounces off the front of the rim. Loster tries to save it, but it ends up going out of bounds. Turnover to the Rams. 50.6 seconds left in the third period. So Farrar gets it underneath to Odd. Odd with the turnaround jumper. It rolls out. Picked up by Galladay. Galladay sends it forward to Emerson. Emerson with a nice layup, drops it in for two. Less than 30 seconds left of the third period, 45-9. Odd with another turnaround. Nope, Odd with the rebound. Gets in the hands of Emerson. Emerson dribbles out, 15 seconds left. Stops, gets it over to Loster. Loster drives in, puts it up, and it bounces back out. Rebound by Frizzler. Frizzler gets it forward to Farrar, and the deep throw, not able to get it to drop in. After three, Warriors 45, Ralston 9. We'll take a break right here on BSDN Live and Saunders County Online and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. In fact, let's go ahead and say thank you to sponsors, part of all of our broadcasts. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. We also want to say thank you to JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Ambassadors Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. About to start the fourth period as the Warriors host the Rams. One thing we're noticing is that it's a pretty young team for the Rams. 4 seniors, the rest are freshmen or sophomores, really. A couple juniors there. Bounce pass underneath, taken away by Greg. Back over to Hancock. Hancock comes to the near side. Smart with a 3. That one's on the back of the rim, comes back out. Roberts and Gregg battle for it against each other. Goes out of bounds, turnover to the Rams. Rams with the inbound, gets it into Grimes-Farrar. Over to Beasley. Barros, I'm sorry. Barros sends it to the near side to Stalick. Stalick all the way over to Barros. Underneath. Frizzler gets it in, and Odd tries to put it up, draws the foul. So that's the first team foul for the Warriors. 7:20 left of the game. And that's the second personal foul for Greg. Odd with 2 attempts. First attempt is up, and that one bounces out. Second attempt up, and that one's good. 45-10, 7:20 left in the game. Hancock gets it to Roberts on the near side. Roberts goes back, sends it to Smart. Smart across to Hancock on the right wing. Now Smart on the left wing. Roberts with the dribbles at the left wing. Hancock. Hancock takes the 3. That one bounces off the back of the rim, and rebound gets into the hands of the Rams. Fitzler. Fitzler sends it over to Grimes-Farrar. She drives in, draws the foul. So that's the second team foul. First personal foul for Hancock. 6:49 left of the game. 45-10. Warriors with the lead. Inbound underneath to Odd. Draws the foul. So that is the third team foul for the Warriors. And the third personal foul for Greg. That is sending Odd to the free throw line for 2 attempts. First attempt is up and good. 45-11. Second attempt up, and that one is also good. Odd coming out for the Rams. They put in Amai Raji. Hancock gets across the timeline for the Warriors. Sends it to the far side to Smart. Smart drives in the lane, bounce pass underneath. Greg had to chase it down, puts it up, bounces back out. Raji for the Rams pulls it in, gets it over to McCrander. McCrander sends it to the far side underneath to Raji, puts it up, not able to get it to drop, but she draws the foul. That's the fourth team foul for the Warriors and the fourth personal foul for Greg. So Greg in foul trouble. Raji, first attempt, and that one rims and rolls off to the left. Adi comes in for the Rams, replacing, I believe, Fritzler. Second attempt, and that one bounces, hits the back, top of the backboard, and it comes back out. Warriors with the inbound. or with the ball. Bounce pass to Hancock. Roberts with a three and is able to drain it. (48-12). 6:04 left of the game. Bounce, the pass off the mark. People weren't where they're supposed to be for the Rams. Taken over by the Warriors. Hancock to Smart. Smart sends it all the way across. Another three-point attempt. And that one's a little soft. The rebound by Smart. And interesting, not called for any foul there, but called for the travel. Goes to the near side, sends it across. Odd with the ball, tries to put it up, and taken away by the Warriors. They get it forward, send it all the way down to Galladay. I'm sorry, to Wesley. Wesley sends it across. Three-point attempt. That was by Edie. It's off the mark. Wesley with the rebound. Lacey with a three-point. 51-12, 5:06 left. Grimes Farrar sends all the way across to the near side to McCrander. McCrander looking for help. Gets it underneath to Odd, but ends up going in and drawing a foul. So that is the fifth team foul. That puts the Rams in bonus category. First personal foul for Lacey. First attempt is up and good for Odd. Addie Odd, 5'7" sophomore. Second attempt, and that is off the mark and rebound by the Warriors. Get over to Wesley. Wesley drives to the top of the key. Stops, looking for help, gets underneath. And that was to Edie. Then over to Dirksen, back over to the near side. Lacey takes the three and drains it. 54-13. 4:30 left of the game. Rams get it down to the far side. Stalick goes all the way across. Tries to pass, gets back into Stalick. Stalick draws the foul. So in the bonus category, so that sends Stalick to the free throw line. That's the first personal foul for Peyton Dirksen for the Warriors. First attempt is up, and that is good. 54-14. We have a running clock at this point. So 40-point lead. Second attempt, and that is off the mark. Oh, no, it rolls in. 54-15. Warriors inbound, get it to Lacey. Lacey sends it across to Dirksen. Dirksen takes the three. It bounces out. Ends up going out of bounds. They say it was off of Beasley. So it goes to the Rams. Rams with the inbound. 3:19 left. Running clock. Inbound goes over to Grimes Farrar. Gets across the timeline. Sends it forward. Gets underneath to Raji. Raji puts it up, but rebound by Greg. Forward to Smart. Not able to get it to drop in, but nice follow through. Short, just short of the three was Loster. Not able to get that one in. Smart gets over to Loster. Loster sends it all the way across. A three-point attempt by Steele and rebound. So the rebound was by Smart, but she goes down and gets called for the travel. 2:32. Clock continues to run. Rams inbound to McCrander. Actually, McCrander inbounds to Grimes Farrar. Back to the near side. Underneath Odd. Odd with a turnaround jumper. Misses the mark. Rebound. And Battle is picked up, but they're out of bounds. So we see Stalick out of bounds when she grabs the ball. So a turnover back over to the Warriors. Under 2 minutes left of the game. 54-15. Warriors with the lead. 39-point lead. Again, say thank you to all the sponsors in the upper left-hand corner. See them part of every activity that we cover. So the inbound gets into Roberts' hands. Roberts sends it to Smart. Smart all the way out to Losser. Losser underneath to Gregg. Gregg sends it to the near side as Shield tries to get it out to Losser. She saves it. Gets it back over to Roberts. Roberts to Smart. Smart underneath. Gets it in up to Gregg with a turnaround jumper. Goes through a lot of hands and ends up forward throw, but taken advantage of by Odd. She goes for the layup and draws the foul. So she gets to go for the and one, 17-54. So Smart comes out. Shield comes out as well as Roberts. 30 seconds left. The and one is good. 18-54. Lacey with the ball for the Warriors. 22 seconds left. Sends it forward. Losser takes the three. That one bounces off the back of the rim, and rebound is grabbed, and we have a jump ball. 10 seconds left, and the inbound is actually the Warriors don't even have to inbound at this point. Instantly in and up, and that is the game. 54-18, Warriors win over the Ralston Rams. In a few minutes, we're going to turn things over to the boys. And we'll talk about them here in a little bit. Again, tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. I want to say thank you to all the sponsors, including JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Well, we'll go ahead and take the break, and just over 20 minutes, we will have the boys playing right here on Saunders County Online, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, bsdnlive.com, and wahooradio.com.
Good evening. Tonight is a special time for our cheer and dance teams. These seniors, along with their parents, have devoted a tremendous amount of time and energy to the cheerleading and dance program. The Wahoo High School Activities Department and their coaches would like to take a few moments to recognize these seniors and pay tribute to their efforts. Faith Davis. Faith is the daughter of Chef Stephanie Davis. Her activities at Wahoo High School include FCCLA, FBLA, FCA, National Honor Society, Multicultural Club, Student Council, Junior Mates, Unified Bowling, Unified Track and Volleyball. make plans to study elementary education in UNL. Their favorite cheerleading memory is sitting in the hotel last year at state chair. Faith's advice for others is to say yes to all opportunities. Faith Davis. Hannah Elliott. Hannah's the daughter of Sean and Megan Elliott. Her other activities at Wahoo High School include junior leagues and plans to become an elementary school teacher. Her favorite memory is going to state with all of her best friends. Hannah's advice for others is don't worry about another state, just do you. Hannah Elliott. Addison Learman. Addison is the daughter of Tony and Mary Jo Learman. Addie's other activities at Wahoo High School include student council. She plans to attend UNL and major in pre-health and do something related to dance. Addison's favorite memory is winning state for freshman year, and her advice to others is to trust in God and work hard on everything that you do. Addison Learman. Cadence Nelson. Cadence is the daughter of Seth and Stacia Nelson and Tyler Robertson. Her other activities at Wahoo High School include track and field and FFA. Katie's plans are to attend Nebraska College of Technical Agriculture to get her veterinary degree, along with learning how to train stock dogs. To later go on and get her doctorate of veterinary medicine. Katie's favorite memory is the district track meet in qualifying for state and saw her dad's reaction when setting the world Wahoo girls shot put record. Katie's advice for others is that people will judge, so let them. Just have fun. Mistakes will happen, but make sure they're going to grow from them because they happen for a reason. Don't make the most of your time at Wahoo High School. Katie Nelson. Gracie Peterson. Gracie is the daughter of Jeff and Hannah Peterson. Her other activities at Wahoo High School include National Honor Society, FFA, junior mates, student council, and the AJL program. Gracie plans to major in sports management and exercise science. Her favorite memory is Homer's after state last year and many bus rides, bonding and laughing as a team. Gracie's advice for others is always try something new because you never know when to find a team that feels like family. Gracie Peterson. Sarah Sherman. Sarah is the daughter of Eric and Natalie Sherman. Her other activities at Wahoo High School include golf, multicultural club, FBLA, junior mates, National Honor Society, and student council. Clara plans on attending Iowa State University and studying mechanical engineering. Her favorite memories are getting ready for the TV before competitions. And Clara's advice for others is to stay positive and try new things. Clara Sherman. Timmy Watts. Timmy is the daughter of April and Ryan Watts. Her other activities at Wahoo High School include junior mates, National Honor Society, and multicultural club. Timmy plans on attending UNK and majoring in business marketing. Her favorite memories are going to state and begin in the hotel room together. Timmy's advice for others is to stay present in the moment and all goes too fast. Timmy Watts. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations your 2026 Chair Dance Senior Night.
All right, we're about ready to start the second game as the Wahoo boys take on the Rams right here on WDCNEmedia.com, BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online YouTube, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and WahooRadio.com, all over the place. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. So we have the 10-3 Warriors taking on the 1-9 Rams. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the stats for these guys. Starting with the Rams, points per game, a leader for the Rams, 10.3. Field goal percentage, and that is Cooper Hetterman, 58%. Rebounds per game, also Cooper Hetterman, 5 on average. Assists per game, 2.1. Steals per game, 1. Apologize if I'm saying that wrong. Cooper Hetterman with the 3.3 blocks per game, and free throws per game percentage at 68%. Let's go ahead and turn things over as we get the starting lineups right here.
Tonight's contest is sponsored by Wahoo. Thank you to the Citadel staff for supporting Wahoo Athletic Booster Club, Warrior Athletic programs, coaches, and student athletes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineups. First, for the Ralston Rams. Number 1, the 6-foot senior,
Away.
Number 2, the 5'11" senior, Vinci Gray. Number 5, the 5'11" junior, David Smith. Number 14, the 6'1" senior, Samuel Bismarck. And number 20, the 6'5" sophomore, Cooper Hetterman. And coach, John Payroll. The now 2026 Boys Wahoo Warriors. Number 0, 6'4" sophomore, Randy Rock. Number 2, the 11th senior, Bill Brigham. Number 4, the 5'10" senior, Rick Kaminsky. Number 5, the 6'9" senior, Joey Hesser. And number 14, the 16 freshman, Joey Kelly. Next up, Dale Connor-James Jimenez. Let's play basketball.
All right, we're back here. Now it's time to play some basketball. The Warriors want to repeat what the ladies did just a little bit ago. So, in the tip-off circle, we have Cody Hesser going to be facing off against number 14, Zia Bismarck. And the Rams win the toss. Inbound, goes to the far side, and then come toss to Sticks. Sticks gets it over to Bismarck. Bismarck puts the jumper up, but not able to get it to drop in. Rebound by the Warriors. Hesser on the near side gets it down to Kelly. Kelly back over to Hesser, almost taken away. Aggressive play right now. Hesser looking for help. Gets all the way over. Kaminsky takes the three, and it bounces up, and Kelly tried to save it, but he was going out of bounds, so he just threw it forward and ended up in the hands of the Rams. And while with it, and that was over. 3-point Da Vinci Gray with a three-pointer. Kick off the game. 7-11. Hancock. I'm sorry, Brigham Kaminsky back to Brigham. Brigham drives in the lane, gets it underneath to Kelly. Pass was off his fingers and picked up by Sticks. Sticks sends it over. Gray with the ball on the right wing. Takes a three-pointer. That one's off the mark. And Hesser lets that one go out of bounds. Turnover to the Warriors. Hesser inbounds to Brigham. Takes it down the court. Gets across the timeline. Pass to Kaminsky. Kaminsky underneath. Hesser loses the control of the ball and gets over into the hands of Bismarck. Drives in the lane. Looking for help. Tries to bounce pass underneath, and it gets through hands and picked up by Hatterman. Back into Bismarck. Back to Hatterman. Kaminsky saves it, sends it forward to Brigham. Brigham to Kelly. Kelly to Glock, who puts it up for two. Hesser guarding. Kelly's guarding. Comes on the near side as Sticks comes in. Draws the foul. It's the first team foul and first personal foul for Jace Kaminsky. 3-2. Rams with the lead. Gets on the bounce pass underneath Bismarck. Not able to get it to drop in. Hesser with the rebound for the Warriors. Takes it down the court. In the lane, bounce pass underneath to Brigham. Brigham to Kelly. Kelly not able to hold on to it. Sends it forward to Gray. Gray tries to put it up. Rebound by Glock. Glock sends it to Brigham. Brigham sends it across. And Glock with the three. Now the Warriors take the lead. Kaminsky blocks it, gets it underneath to Hesser. Hesser puts it up for two. 7-3. Bounce pass underneath. Rams get it to the far side is Way. Sends it down court to Hatterman. Hatterman away. Way gets across the sticks. Sticks with a three-point. That one rims out. Brigham pulls it in for the Warriors. The Glock. Glock to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to Hesser. Hesser to Kelly on the right corner. Drives in. And gets knocked out of bounds. Stays with the Warriors. Kelly comes out. Replaced by Hancock. Gets into Glock. Glock to Kaminsky. Takes the three, and that one comes out. Rebound by Gray, I believe. He puts it up, but too hard. Comes into Hancock's hands. He sends it forward to Brigham. Brigham to Hesser. Hesser looked at the three, back to Brigham. Brigham on the left wing, back to Hesser. Hesser takes the three from the far corner and drains it. Inbound to Sticks. Sticks sends it across. Gets it into Gray. Gray. The hand gets it stolen away by Brigham. Brigham sends it across to Hesser. Hesser with the dunk. (12-3). Rams had a good start, just not able to do anything since then. And with that, they take the timeout. And while we take the timeout, let's go ahead and say thank you to sponsors, a part of all of our broadcasts. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. Sid Dillon of Wahoo was able to provide popcorn to the first 100 fans that came in today. And it was pretty fun for them to be able to do. We also want to say thank you to all of the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club sponsors. JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Wood Smith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic and Acupuncture, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shuttle Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Coming out of the timeout. Rams should have the ball coming out of the timeout. (12-3), 3:44 left of the first period. Warriors have one foul. No fouls on the Rams. Bismarck to inbound, gets it into Way. Way goes to the right, hands off, back over to Bismarck. Bismarck to sticks to Way. Blecka just away. Way to Sticks. Sticks drives in the lane, takes the jumper at the free throw line. That one bounces out. Drops in. So 2. Inbound gets to Kaminsky on the left wing. Kaminsky bounce pass underneath to Brigham. Brigham sends it across to Glock. 3-point attempt and able to drain that one. Way with the ball. Pass forward. Gets over to Bismarck. Bismarck to Sticks. Sticks draws the foul. It's the second team foul for the Warriors. And that's going to be the first personal foul, I believe. Yes, for first personal foul for Griffin Hancock. 15-5, 2:57 left of the first period. Sticks with the ball. Hancock draws the second foul. Hancock comes out. Kelly comes in. Rams send Bismarck to inbound. Gets out to Way. Way drives in the lane. Puts the jumper up, and it's too hard. Comes back or down. Cody Esser with the rebound for the Warriors. Sends it forward to Bismarck, to Brigham. Brigham. Looking for help. Over to Kaminsky in the right corner. Kaminsky sends all the way across to Glock. Takes the 3 and drains that one. 3-point percentage is really high for Glock today. Way gets the inbound for the Rams. Comes to the near side. Kaminsky puts his hand in there, tries to take the ball away, goes out of bounds, stays with the Rams. Sticks to inbound. Sends it out to Wade. Way on the backside of the court, comes across the timeline. Top of the key. He drives in, bounce past the Sticks. Sticks takes the 3. That one bounces back, gets his own rebound, puts it up for 2. 18-7, 2 minutes left of the first period. Hesser sends it forward to Brigham. Brigham to Kelly on the near side. Kelly back underneath to Hesser. Hesser sends it across and tipped, so Kaminsky goes in and he gets fouled. That is the first team foul, first personal foul, and that goes against Boone Blecka. Kaminsky to inbound for the Warriors. Comes across to Hesser. Hesser drives in the lane, looking for help. Gets over to Brigham. Brigham back to Hesser. Takes the 3, and that one bounces, but Kaminsky with the rebound. Sends it to Glock. Open 3. That one's off the mark. Rebound by Bismarck. Sends it across the near side to Gray. Gray drives in, puts it up, goes out of bounds. Oh, no. Kelly was able to save it. Sends it forward to the near side. Hesser looked at the 3. Drives in the lane. Underneath to Brigham. Brigham puts it up for 2. Minute 13 left of the first period. 20-7. Sends it across to Blecka. Blecka sends it back out to Gray. Gray on the right wing. Drives in. Puts it up. It drops in, so it counts, and he goes to the free throw line for the N1. It's a fourth team foul, first personal foul right there for Hesser. Sticks comes out. Way comes in for the Rams, and we have Hesser comes out. Gigstad goes in. Also for the Rams, Hatterman comes out and White goes in. Gray with the and one. And it's good. The old-fashioned three-pointer is good for them. 10-20. 1 minute left of the first period. Kaminsky sends it forward to Kelly. Kelly back to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to bring him on the right wing. Stops, sends it across to Kaminsky. Looked at the three. Dribbles around the outside to the top of the key to Kelly on the left wing. Kaminsky now bounce pass on across to Brigham. Brigham turn around. Looking for help. Gets it out to Glock and goes out of bounds. Turnover to the Rams. 34 seconds left out of the first period. Argument says ends up going that it was out of bounds off of the Rams. Glock with the inbound. Receives it. 3 seconds. Bounce off the rim. Rebound. Glock now with a 3-point attempt. And that one rims out. Kelly with the rebound. Puts it up for 2. 20 seconds left. First half of the first period. Blecka hands it off to Gray. Gray steps back at the 3-point line. Drives in the lane. Comes around, tries to get it around, but it's taken away. Sends forward, bounce pass, taken away by the Rams. The buzzer beater was blocked, and that's the end of one. 22-10. Warriors with a lead. Again, tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. We want to say thank you to all of the sponsors, part of the Wahoo Athletic Booster Club, JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Wood Smith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Well, we're about ready to start the second period. Warriors leading 22-10. Warriors with possession to inbound. Brigham to inbound from the far side. Inbounds to Kaminsky. Kaminsky passes to Brigham. Brigham back to Kaminsky. Underneath the Glock. Glock looking for a pass to Kelly, not able to get it to connect. It's taken away by the Rams. Gets it forward to Gray. Gray pulls back to the three, takes it, and it bounces around, comes out. Hessler with the Warriors rebound. Gray with the takeaway. Battle for the ball, and going at winning the battle was Bismarck, putting it up for 2. Inbound gets to Kelly. Kelly sends it across to Glock. Glock sends the 3 and drains it without any issue. 25-12, 7:09 left of the first half. Way gets it forward, almost called for a nice block by Brigham. Sticks with the rebound. Glock with the rebound now, sends it forward. Goes all the way across over to Kelly, puts it up for a 2. Gray with the ball, double team, sends it all the way down to Sticks. Sticks across to Hatterman, puts it up for 2. 27-14. Brigham on the left wing. Glock underneath. Now underneath to Hesser. Hesser back to Glock at the right wing. Gray taps it out of Glock's hand. Stays with the Warriors. He inbounds to Kaminsky. Kaminsky on the near side. Kaminsky sends it across to Brigham. Open. Sends it back over to Kaminsky. Kaminsky takes the three. Drains that one. 5:55 left of the first half. 30-14. Warriors with the lead. Way sends it forward to Gray on the far side. Gray's back over to Sticks. Sticks drives in, pulls back, but the pass away was taken away by Hesser. He goes up and puts it up for two. And with that, the Rams take the timeout. It's going to be, I think it's a long timeout. So we will say again, thank you to all the sponsors. See them in the upper left-hand corner. The Wahoo Athletic Booster Club. The funds that they raise go to the scoreboards right here in the new gym and help enhance the student environment, the athletics, and the school itself. So I want to say thank you to all of them. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. We also want to say thank you to JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Wood Smith Builders, Simon's Home Store and Retire Path Advisors, Sid Dillon of Wahoo Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Rams take the timeout, and they get to inbound. 5:36 left of the first half. 32-14, Warriors with the lead. Inbound goes to Way. Way sends it to Gray. Gray to Sticks. Sticks takes the three. That one bounces out. Rebound by Gray. Sends it out to Way. He takes the three and drains it. 32-17. Inbound from Hesser goes to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to Brigham. Brigham gets sends it back over to Kaminsky. Bounce pass to Brigham. Brigham drives in, but then sends it back out to Kaminsky underneath the Hesser. Hesser tries to get it in, but taken away. So that was taken away by Bismarck, and then he draws the foul. So that's the first team foul for the Warriors. Second personal foul for Jace Kaminsky. Bismarck to inbound to Way. Way at the top of the key. Sends it to Bismarck on the near side. Back over. Sends it in to Hatterman. Hatterman over to, on the near side to Gray. Gray looking for help to Way. Way drives in the lane. Back over to Bismarck. Takes the three, and that one rims out. Battle for the rebound. Goes out of bounds off of the Warriors. So it stays with the Rams. 35 seconds left of the shot clock. 4:33 left of the first half. Inbound goes out to Bismarck. Bismarck hands off to Gray. Gray gets to Way at the top of the key. Way sends it across to Hatterman. Hatterman to, let's see who is that? That is Blecka. Puts the three up. Not able to do anything with it. Rebound gets sent forward, and a nice layup by Hancock. When the passes work, they work. There's been a lot of times the Warriors have taken a lot of chances on their passes. Gray sends it over to Bismarck, takes a three. That one bounces off. Rebound by Brigham for the Warriors. He goes down and sends it over to Glock. Glock puts it up, drops it in for two. 36-17, 3:45 left of the first half. Way goes to the right wing, hands it off to Blecka. Blecka back to Way. Way to Hatter. Hatter to Bismarck. Bismarck drives in the lane, looking for help to Way. Way sends it across. Back to Way at the top of the key. Way gets a screen, turn around, and called for the travel. Kelly comes in, replaces Kaminsky. Hancock to inbound him. Gets it in to Brigham. Brigham across to Hancock. Hancock back to Brigham to the top. Brigham gets over to Hesser. Hesser sends across to Kelly. Kelly drives in the lane, puts it up. He draws the foul. So he's going to the free throw line. That's the first team foul, first personal foul for Colin White. But that is sending Joey Kelly to the free throw line for 2 attempts. First attempt is good. Second attempt, and that is up, and that one rims out. Rebound by the Rams. Gets it over. They send it over to Blecka. Blecka drives in lane, puts it up, draws the foul, and it drops in for 2. So that is the second team foul for the Warriors with 2:55 left. Third personal foul for Hancock. 2:55 left of the first period. Hancock comes out, replaced by Kaminsky. Boone Blecka with the and one attempt. And that is up, and that's off the mark. Rebound by Glock, sends it over to Hesser. Hesser sends it forward to Kaminsky. Kaminsky takes a moment to go across the timeline. He drives in, picks it up, looking for help. Goes across to Hesser, back to Kaminsky, underneath to, goes all the way across to Hesser. He drains the 3. Cody Hesser with a 3. 40-19, 2:30 left of the half. Pass is taken away. And Hesser, nice slow down move, 9 behind the back, puts it up for 2. Inbound goes to Gray for the Rams. Gray drives in the lane, puts it up, gets it to drop in for 2. Brigham sends it over to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to Hesser. Hesser back to Kaminsky. Takes the 3 and drains it. So minute 44 left of the first half. Warriors 45, Rams 21. Timeout has been called. It's a long timeout. We'll take a quick moment to partake of a beverage. We'll be right back on bsdnlive.com, Saunders County Online YouTube, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, wahooradio.com. Well, we are in the second period. Warriors leading 45-21 with the Rams. Ralston Rams right here. Kind of repeating what the ladies did earlier. Inbound gets to Gray for the Rams. Gets across the timeline, goes to the right wing, back to the top of the key, steps back, takes the 3, and drains that one. Warriors inbound. Hesser sends it in to Kaminsky. Kaminsky back over to Hesser. Hesser back to Kaminsky. Drives in the lane. Hesser now has it. Kaminsky back out the three-point line on the right wing. Left wing for Hesser. Now Glock takes the 3, and that's a little bit long. Rebound is brought in by Colin White. So he gets it over to Gray for another 3-up attempt, and that one's short. Rebound by Kelly. Kelly gets it over to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to Hesser for the Warriors. 58 seconds left. Kaminsky with a three, but that one bounces back out. Rebound is brought in by the Rams. Gray hands it over. Gets it over to Bismarck. Bismarck sends it across to Gray. Gray drives in. Fadeaway jumper. Not able to drop in, but he does draw the foul. So that's going to send him to the free throw line for 2 attempts. So that's the third team foul. First personal foul for Kip Brigham. First attempt is up, and that one rims out. 45-24. Second attempt, and that one rims out. Glock with a rebound. Sends it over to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to Hesser. Hesser, 35 seconds left. Sends it to Kaminsky on the right wing. Kaminsky back to Hesser. Hesser drives across, goes to Glock. Glock gets called for the out of bounds. Turnover to the Rams. 23.8 seconds. So the shot clock matches the natural clock before the half. Sticks comes back in for the Rams. Inbound gets to Way. 17 seconds left of the half. Way steps to the side, takes the three. That one rims out. And that is reeled in by Kelly, and he is brought down pretty hard by Bismarck. Inbound goes to Kaminsky. 8 seconds left of the half. Kaminsky to Brigham back over to Glock. Takes the three, and that one bounces out, but drops in at the last second by Hesser. 47-24, and that's halftime. Again, I want to say thank you to all of the sponsors, part of the Wahoo Booster Club, Athletic Booster Club. Help enhance by raising funds for the scoreboards, enhance student life, athletics life, and bringing these broadcasts to you right here on Saunders County Online YouTube, WahooRadio.com, Wahoo Public Schools YouTube. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. We also want to say thank you to JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contract, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Now we'll get to watch the competition cheer squad. Again, we have to be careful, so yes, I will talk over some of the music because we do have to do that in order to avoid copyright issues with YouTube. Halftime with the Wahoo Cheer Squad. Warriors leading at halftime 47-24.
Congratulations, Harrison Cook, and the prize by Jason for the $1,000 scholarship, sponsored by Wahoo Dental Associates and the Wahoo Public Schools Foundation.
We are about to start the second half. The Warriors lead 47-24 over the Ralston Rams. Again, say thank you. Game sponsor tonight is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. We also want to say thank you to all the sponsors: JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Sid Dillon of Wahoo, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth, Molly Construction. Well, we're about ready to start the second half. See where things go from here. I believe the Rams have the ball to inbound to begin the second half. Bismarck to inbound for the Rams. And he inbounds to Gray. Gray gets across the timeline. So drives in, turn around. Loses control, back over to Sticks. Sticks puts up the jumper and is able to drop it in for two. Inbound from Hesser to Brigham without wasting any time there. Over to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to Glock on the near side. Glock bounce pass underneath to Kaminsky. Kaminsky dribbles and then sends it back out to Glock. Glock to Kaminsky on the near side. Kaminsky underneath to Hesser. Hesser back out to Brigham. Brigham to Kaminsky. Looked at the three, drives in, but he gets called for the travel. So turnover to the Rams. Bismarck to inbound for the Rams. Gets it over to Way. Way. Turn around. Loses control of the ball. So they say that when Kaminsky received the ball, so he received it on the near court, went back, and then came forward. So Rams received the inbound. Bismarck to Way. Way to the top of the key. Gets over to Bismarck on the right wing, left wing. On the right wing, we see Hederman tries to get in. Bismarck puts it up. Brigham gets it underneath to Hesser. Hesser at the free throw line, gets it back out to Brigham. Brigham drives in the lane, back over to Kaminsky. He takes the three and drains it. 50-29. Gray sends it forward to Bismarck. Bismarck back over to, tries to get over to Way, but gets into the hand of Bismarck. Nice save by Hesser. Back to Kelly, puts it up for two. Bismarck inbounds to Gray for the Rams. Looking for help, gets over to Way. Looking like they're about ready to run out of time. And before they do run out of time getting across the time clock, the Rams take the timeout. It's a short timeout. So again, in the upper left-hand corner, you see all the sponsors, part of all the broadcasts and what they do, the sponsorships that they provide help pay for the equipment, like the computer, or like the computer and the scoreboards that are in the new gym, which gives students the ability to do a lot of things regarding learning how to edit video, how to program those scoreboards. So when they get to the next level, in the collegiate level, they have a leg up in being able to have more experience on those things. Rams with the inbound coming out of the timeout. Coming over to inbound will be Bismarck. Bismarck inbounds to Way. Way at the top of the key, looking for the screen. Bismarck backs off. Drives in the lane. Goes back over to Gray. Gray driving in the lane, turn around, loses control, gets in the hands of Hancock. Hancock tries to bounce across. Brigham tried to save it and goes out of bounds. And so the pass was too hard, goes across. The Rams do the same thing as they pass too hard and ends up going out of bounds. Turnover back to the Warriors. Way comes out. Looks like he's been replaced by Blecka. 52-29, 5:36 left of the third period. Warriors with a lead. Hancock back to Brigham. Brigham to Glock underneath. Is able to put it up and in. 54-29. Blecka across the top of the key to Sticks. Sticks, jumper at the free throw line. That's off the mark, but he gets his own rebound, tries it again. That one's short. And he gets it again. His third try, puts it in. Kaminsky on the right wing. Picks up, sends across to Hancock. Hancock to Brigham. Brigham underneath to Hesser. Hesser to Hancock. Takes the three and drains it. Inbound to Blecka for the Rams. Blecka at the top of the key. Sends it over to Bismarck. Bismarck to, that is over to Hand. Blecka puts it up for two. Kaminsky goes across to Brigham. Brigham to Glock. Glock back over to Kaminsky. Kaminsky on the left wing. Bounce pass underneath to Hesser. Hesser gets it into Kaminsky, who puts it up and is able to get it in for two. And that calls another timeout. So the Warriors call the timeout. 59-33. 4:11 left of the third period. Again, tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. I also want to say thank you to sponsors like JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Ambassador Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Bismarck to inbound, gets it in for the Rams, sends it over to Blecka. Blecka gets it across the timeline, moves to the right wing, passes it in underneath to Hand. Hand tries to pass, but it's taken away by Kaminsky for the Warriors. Kaminsky sends it in underneath. Brigham puts it up for two. 3:48 left of the third period, 61-33. Long three, and that one's off the mark. Rebound by the Warriors. Gets it forward to Brigham. Brigham driving in. Sends it back out. Hancock with a three. Drains it. 64-33. 31-point lead for the Warriors. Bismarck gets it underneath to Hand. Hand goes across. Going in to put it up is Hederman. He draws the foul. So that's going to send him to the free throw line. It's the first team foul for the third period for the Warriors. Second personal foul by Kaminsky. First attempt is up, and that one bounces around quite a bit before coming out. So Way comes in for Hand, and Gray comes in for Blecka for the Rams. Second attempt, and that one rims out. Rebound by Hancock for the Warriors. Sends it forward to Hesser. Hesser to Brigham on the right wing. Comes all the way across the left wing. Three-point attempt, and that is drained by Jace Kaminsky. 67-33. Gray with the ball. Steps back, goes, drives in the lane. Puts it up and is able to drop it in for two. Hesser with the ball on the near side gets it out to Kaminsky. Kaminsky underneath. All the way across the Glock. And then Hancock takes the three. That one bounces out. Rebound is almost brought in by Brigham, but is knocked out by Gray, so it stays with the Warriors. Kaminsky inbounds to Brigham. Brigham over to Hancock at the top of the key. To Glock on the right wing. Now Kaminsky on the left wing has the ball. Dribbles. Picks it up. Looking for help. Hesser on the left. Looking for help back out to Kaminsky. Kaminsky to Glock. Glock takes the three. That one bounces off the front of the rim and then in for three. 70-35. 2:09 left of the third period. Bounce pass, so lost control, but picked up by Colin White for the Rams. Goes all the way across. And the pass is stolen away by Kaminsky. Kaminsky bounce pass to Hesser. Hesser not able to get it to drop in. Comes back out, picked up by the Rams. Send it forward to Gray. Gray driving in the lane. Turn around, puts it up, and is able to drop it in for two. And then we have Gray coming out. He jumps out. Looks like he's in pain. Could be that it could be not sure what it could be. Could be needed to stretch out. But we'll see how he does and if he comes back in. Comes in the near side. Glock sends it all the way across. And Kaminsky saves it in the near far corner. Kaminsky sends it in. A nice alley-oop to Glock. Puts it in for two. 72-37, minute 18 left of the third period. Way sends it over to Brigham. Takes the three, but not able to get it. Rebound by Six to Way. Way takes the three, drains that one. 72-40, 59 seconds left of the third period. Brigham gets across the timelines to Glock underneath. It goes to Hesser. Hesser Kaminsky now with a three. Drains it. Inbound goes to Hesser, or to Way. Way on the far side hands it off to Sticks. Sticks bounce pass. Stolen away by Hancock, and he is on the breakaway. Puts it up and is able to drop it in for two. So Bismarck inbounds to Way. Way gets across the top. Drives in, bounce pass underneath. Putting it up is Colin White. Not able to get it to drop in. Rebound by Glock. Glock sends it forward to Hesser. Hesser puts it up and is able to drop it in. 10 seconds left. 79-40. Way drives in, puts it up. Too long. Rebound. And just heaved by Brigham at the buzzer. Nowhere near, but a good 79-40 lead for the Warriors. We'll be right back with the fourth period right here on WDCNE Media, BSDNlive.com, Saunders County Online YouTube, and Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, and WahooRadio.com. About to start the fourth period. Warriors up by 39 points, 79-40. Warriors inbound coming into the fourth period. 8 minutes left of the game. At this point in time, we do have a running clock, so could be truly an 8 minutes left. Inbound to Kaminsky. Kaminsky sends it forward to Brigham. Brigham sends it across to Glock. Glock to Kaminsky on the left wing. Bounce pass underneath to Hesser. Taken away by Sticks. Forward pass stolen away by Hancock to Hesser. Hesser takes the three. Rims around and drops in. for 3. Wahoo takes the timeout. Again, we want to say thank you to the sponsors. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. They were kind enough to provide popcorn to the very first 100 fans that came in tonight. I also want to say thank you to JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon's Home Store, Retire Path Advisors. Sid Dillon of Wahoo Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate, Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Everett Jones, Josh Kruger, Shutt Electrical and Contract, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Way with the ball, gets across the timeline for the Rams. Sends it to the near side underneath to Brigham. He puts it up, not able to get it to drop in. Rebound, gets it over to Hancock. Hancock gets across the timeline, sends it to the near side. We have Lacey in. Oh, sorry. For the men. We have Kemmerling in. Shot was not good, but the Rams send it across. Go all the way across the sticks. Sticks drives in, sends it out to Way. Way driving in the lane, puts it up too hard. Rebound was brought in by Colin White. Goes out of bounds and turn over to the Warriors. 6:42 counting. Running clock at this point, 82-40. Inbound comes to Simon. Joel Simon, Simon to Hancock. Hancock on the right wing. Simon on the left wing. Kemmerling back over to Simon. Simon to Hancock. Back cross. Goes into Milliken. Milliken puts it up. Not able to get it to drop in, but Milliken gets the rebound. Puts it up and draws the foul. So that's the first team foul for the fourth period. Second personal foul for Colin White for the Rams. But that is sending Brody Milliken to the free throw line. First attempt is hard. Bounces off the back of the rim. Comes back. Getting ready for the second attempt. That's up and good. 83-40. Blecka sends it to the right side. Hand drives in. Looking for help now. Sends it out. Back to Hand on the right side. Bounce pass goes over to Hederman. Hederman tries to drive in. Gets it to Hand. Hand sends it over to Hansen. Hansen gets it over to Blecka. Tries the three. Bounces out. Rebound by the Warriors. Simon tries to make a pass, but it's taken away by Blecka. Blecka drives up. Puts it up. Does not go in. But he draws the foul, so he's able to go to the free throw line. That's the first team foul. First person. Second attempt, no good. Rebound by the Warriors. Get over to Simon. Simon gets it underneath. Digstad drives up, puts it up. Tries to get his own rebound, but ends up going out to Simon. Simon sends to the near side. Packus gets it over, back over to Simon, takes the three. Tried to rescue it in the sent and gets in the hands of Colin Hansen, who drives and puts it up for two. 83-42, 3:40 left of the game. Pass tried to get underneath, but Hederman able to steal that. Drives down with a layup, puts it up for two. Across the top. Warriors get it over. Kremling, the near side. And Backus drives in, puts it up. So that puts it 85-44, 3:02 left. Whistle is blown. So talking about what are they doing? Exchanging some players here. So the Rams take Hitterman out and put Hand in. Terrell gets it over and then sends it across to Brown. Looks like they have some JV players right now. JV players on both sides. Stolen away by Backus for the Warriors. Stops at the top of the key and brings it over to Kremling. Underneath to Backus. Takes the three, and that one drops in for three. 88-44. Three-point shot bounces off a little hard into the hands of the Warriors. So Milliken gets it over to Backus. Backus gets across the timeline, sends it to the near side to Kimmerling. Kimmerling saves it. Gets the screen. Drives in, puts it up, drops it in for two. 90-44, minute 56 left. Rams drive in, and timeout is called. So just a player exchange timeout. Clock should start again. They get it back out to Hansen. Drives in, picked up by McCormick. Goes across, and we see Terrell draw the foul. Second team foul, and that is the first personal foul for Braylon Backus for the Warriors. Clock is running. Minute 15 left. Turnaround jumper is up, no good, but draws the foul. So that is sending Peyton Brown to the free throw line for the Rams. For the Warriors, that's the third team foul. First personal foul for Jackson Kimmerling. It's up and no good. Attempt at number one. Off the mark. One more attempt. 42 seconds left. Running clock. Second attempt is up. And that one rims out. Warriors save it. Send it forward. 23 seconds left. They could just dribble this one out. So it gets into the hands of Gigstad. So Quincy Gigstad just dribbling it out as the Warriors win 90-44. One zero. That is the game. So congratulations to the Warriors, both the ladies and the boys. They win against the Rams here tonight. 90-44. Again, let's say thank you to all the sponsors. Tonight's game sponsor is Sid Dillon of Wahoo. Also want to say thank you to JEO, Wahoo State Bank, First Bank of Nebraska, Saunders Medical Center, Wahoops, Union Bank and Trust, Woodsmith Builders, Simon Home Store, Retire Path Advisors, Titles, Wahoo Dental Associates, Saunders County Chiropractic, Rivalry, Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate Tammy Bennett, Hardy Acres, Wahoo Concrete, Edward Jones, Josh Krieger, Shutt Electrical and Contracting, and Tim and Seth Molly Construction. Well, until next time, you guys have a great evening, and we will be back with more basketball. later on, right here on Wahoo Public Schools YouTube, Saunders County Online YouTube, Wahoo Radio.